Welcome to Gamers Portal channel. This is Joe.
This is Matt. Thanks for stopping in.
We got some things to go over. We got our November picks, picking our winner, who won for having the best picks for November, and then talk about our December picks and what we picked and spec and what we spected on. All right, Matt's November picks. Matt, how'd you do?
I don't see a whole lot of movement on most of the cards, but Arkham Dagson ended up being a card that people wanted to slot into the Urza Brothers War pre because tutoring for an artifact is pretty good. And you have lots of the construct tokens to sack to this, and so this card kind of skyrocketed.
Yeah,
But
I think you picked up around $5 or $6. I
yeah,
think, and it's up to 19.
yeah, it only has those two printings, so it's at this point it's a scarcity play.
And it worked for you. I mean, you're up over $13. Looks
None
like.
of the other cards that I really mattered, but I guess all you need is one winner.
One big hit. What you had? Mine. Let me get it into mine for November. Uh, my biggest changer, I think, was Moon Silver Key. Slow burn, I guess. Went from 50 cents to 85 cents. I did so that helped a little bit. My total is up over 25. Only $5 opposed to Matt's 13. I'm going for the long game. Another probably change was Reckoner's bargaining. They're at 35. They're up to 40 cents, I believe. So a little bit of change. But I did have 12, so small increases help a lot.
Yeah, Moon Silver is a pick that I'm still kind of jealous of because I think that card would be,
Oh yeah, it's a
that
great
card
card.
needs to see more play. I need to have it in more of my decks for sure.
So Matt for the win for November. Could be opening up a pack at the end of the show. And we usually give out the rare for it. I think he's giving away the rare again.
Oh yeah, Code for this one's going to be Happy New Year's. And for last month we had one comment, the one and only Austin. So we'll have to send that curse of silence out to you.
Yep, congrats. All right, our December 2022 picks. We'll go start with Matt. Matt, what'd you go for in our holiday special?
Okay, all right. So I went with 11 copies of a new card from Brothers War, Bushwhack, which is a 1 mana green uncommon. So plus one forest. It's a modal spell, and I just really like modal cards. I don't know many people that don't like modal cards, so this allows you to ramp without being a dud in the late game, and it might not go anywhere until mono green returns to the standard meta if it ever comes back. But I think as far as commander play goes, it'll start to gain some momentum over time. Like the fact that you can ramp or 1 mana fight spell, so it's not going to be a dud in the late game, and I just really like that.
Yeah, and modal spells are great. Having options is always a yeah, I can see how and it's green. You like playing green, you like
I
playing
do,
ramp,
I
so
do.
it fits right in your wheelhouse.
It really does. Like I can't wait to start running. I gotta stop telling people about it because I want to be the only one running it. Yeah, so I went 11 copies of that non-foil, 4 copies of Faithless Looting non-foil from the Brothers War Precon. So with the old border, it's Faithless Looting. I know it has a million printings, so I'm probably gonna get burned on this one, but the old border treatment, there's got to be people out there that appreciate that. That's in over 170,000 decks on EDH Rec, so it has the numbers to back it up. But unfortunately, it also has the printings to back it up.
Yeah,
So
they definitely reprinted this a lot, but um, picking the alternate art, I think is probably a good idea.
well, it's better than that Microsoft Paint one. And this has a better border too. So following that, I have 4 Mishra's Command and 4 Kayla's Command extended art foils, more modal spells. Both of these allow you to choose 2 modes rather than just the one. Okay, so with Mishra's Command, it's just good all around. For 1 red and X, you can choose 2 modes. Choose target player. They may discard up to X cards. Then they draw a card for each card discarded this way. Or the spell deals X damage to target creature, or the spell deals X damage to target planeswalker, and then the last mode is target creature gets +X/+0 and gains haste until end of turn, and you cast this for 1 red and X. So it's just a good old fashioned red pump spell, and it's another modal spell. And honestly, this will probably see standard play. It kind of already is, but it'll probably gain traction as those annoying prowess and mono red decks are, gaining speed. I think it's going to be pretty good in Commander, though. I'm looking forward to trying it out.
And that was one of the cards that when it first came out, you said, "Look at this card,"
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
you were pretty hyped about it.
Oh yeah. Kayla's command. That was the other one. Like I these mono white cards that almost let you ramp, but not completely. So it's a similar thing. 1 and 2 white sorcery. Choose two modes. First mode is create a 2/2 colorless construct artifact creature token. Second mode is put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. It gains double strike until end of turn. Third mode is search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Almost ramp. And then fourth mode is you gain 2 life and scry 2, so almost card draw. But like if this was instant speed, and I know it can't be because of the just the functionality of it, but
They could have gave it flash, but
yeah, yeah, that +1/+1 counter and double strike. I just lost to this card on in standard on arena, and I just think this is good for mono white builds. I don't know about like multiple colors, but in mono white, like if I was building uh Adeline or that other freaking Myrel or whatever,
oh
if
yeah,
I was building
Myro.
those, if I was going for the freaking soldier, strategy, I'd be running this for sure.
Well, it's
Mono
like
white,
it's another modal spell,
yeah,
and it does some know, key things just enough to make it interesting, not overpowered. Like it's almost ramp, it's almost this.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
in my opinion, I think probably if it would have been two, 'cause it only gives you one for two creature, right?
yeah. If it had been two,
It
that
would
would
have
have.
been,
Yeah. It's doing what white wants to do.
yeah.
And in mono white builds, I would be including this. If I ever get around to building mono white. They're kind
Um,
of encouraging me to do it
but
now. So
no, they're definitely pushing
yeah. Yeah.
Soldier White Queenie again.
Yep. So I went with one copy of Expressive Iteration, Old Border from the Brothers War Precons. This is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful cards of all time, at least in the Is It colors. I never feel bad about casting this or drawing it. And Old Border. So
Solid pick. I mean, being banned in a couple of, I think it's banned in what,
Pioneer.
Pioneer only,
Yeah.
or is it?
I think just Pioneer. We'd have to check for modern, but
Yeah. Anyway, even if a couple bannings, I don't think it's going to expand anything else banning. But if they ever remove that banning, this card's going to skyrocket again.
oh yeah, yeah. So again, this is probably a risk because I mean it's a fairly new card. It already has like a promo version and basically all the Strixhaven variants that are out there, but and then moving on, my last pick, I have one copy of Urza's Silex. I think this card has potential. Maybe not in standard, but definitely in EDH. It's kind of like balance, and balance is banned in our format. So
I'm talking about this Silex. What,
you pay mana into it, and you remove like you.
that's fine. I can't remember. Is that the disc kind of
No,
effect?
because that one comes in tapped, and you can't use it. Right? There's something about that one that makes it less good than
It comes into
I
tap
think you have
and
to do
you
it
have
at
to X.
sorcery speed.
Oh,
That's
that's right.
so it's completely like that card is almost like stupid. But Urza Silex is I'll read the card. So Urza Silex 3 mana. I'll read the card. 2 and 2 white. Tap. Exile Urza Silex. Each player chooses 6 lands they control. Destroy all other permanents. Activate only as a sorcery. When it is put into exile from the battlefield, you may pay 2. If you do, search your library for a Planeswalker card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. So it's like
I really don't think
balance.
I've ever seen that card. I mean, I've heard it, but I've never read it or seen it.
Yeah, yeah. So if you're building like Super Friends Atraxa or something like that, and you want to balance, somebody's ramped, some Karametra player has a pile of lands, it's like 3 inches tall. So like you gotta balance it. Don't play balance.
No, yeah.
Don't play balance. Don't play Urza Silex. Looking forward to seeing your picks, Joe. Good luck.
Oh, thank you. Uh, I went with 40 copies. Yeah, 40 copies of Belden Roman Excavator. Um, I went with this card for many reasons, but cost 2 mana for a 2/2 with more upsides than down. The downside is it can't block. Um, okay, it's red aggro. It's what I think it's going to go into. Probably going to be in standard. Might even push into Pioneer. Um, I don't care if it can't block. It takes damage. You draw cards equal to the amount of damage it takes. They're blocking with weenies. You get to exile a card off top of your library. You get to choose one of those cards and put it. You get to play it till your end of your next turn. So it helps with red aggro, inability to draw, uh, scaling out. They can do a lot of damage. Sometimes they just need to do that extra little extra damage. You They block with a 5/5, kill your 2/2. You exile top 5 cards, pull a you know lightning strike or something out, 3 more damage. I think this card's gonna help red aggro a lot.
I don't know what's scarier, this card and the potential, or the fact that you went with 40 copies of it. Like I saw that number and I was just like, oh man.
Well, I know
I
it's cheap.
I like playing from exile, so
Yeah.
this I like what this thing does. I want to chump block like a 10-10.
Make me XL 10. But red don't care. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking 60 card deck is where this is going to help. You know, XL 10 cards. I get to choose the best card out of those 10. I love it.
Yep.
I think any red player would love
Oh yeah.
that. My other pick was 4 copies of River Merfolk. I see signs in some of the printings they're doing that a Merfolk tribal deck, whether it's Commander or a set that's going to be concentrated around Merfolk again, whether it's Ixalan that's coming up. So I think there's going to be a push for interest in um, Merfolk. Is this the best Merfolk out there? No, but it is a reserve list Merfolk that there's limited. It is Fallen Empires, not that limited, but it is limited. It is on the reserve list. It's just a hunch spec that they're gonna have a Merfolk tribal push somewhere here in the near future.
I feel like that's really smart. I don't know. Like I hasn't Merfolk always been somewhat relevant and somewhat viable in modern, no matter where the meta is. Like
Yeah,
isn't Merfolk always there?
yeah, it's been there. There's always there's some people that are just dedicated to playing Merfolk, and any tournament that's what they play. So and it's a competitive deck. Don't get me wrong. It's just I'm thinking more along the lines of a commander or um, not standard because I'm going with a reserve list card. So they're not going to reprint this card. So I'm thinking along lines of commander.
Commander play.
Yep.
Well, that's I think that's a solid hunch.
My other one, I picked 2 viral drakes. Infect is coming, guys. I'm almost 100% sure with Phyrexial is one. There's going to be Infect. Creatures with Infect will become popular again. This is a flyer that has Infect and only one other printing. It's only been printed once, and it has Proliferate built into it in a blue card. Sign me up. That's what else do you want from a blue creature that is going to be based around Infect? I think this card's going to unless they reprint it in one of the commander decks or something like that. This card is probably going to spike.
Yeah. Yeah. Infect is definitely coming back. From what I understand, it has a new keyword now, and I can't remember what the keyword is, but basically they've tried to bring it down to a more balanced place where the creature deals damage and you get one poison counter no matter what the damage was.
Oh,
So I think they're
kind of.
trying to balance it
So I think the simple solution on that is to raise the amount of
for
infect.
EDH. Yeah, and we have that house rule now where you
Yeah.
need to have 20, which is I think that's way more reasonable for commander. It's a lot harder to one shot somebody, but still. The thing with that keyword is it says whatever it is, and then it has the number one. So the question is like, are there going to be cards that have whatever that keyword is and then another number, and that's how many poison counters you
Oh,
get?
kind of like a bloodthirst or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Like there's no telling, but I mean, just the proliferate alone, that's really all you need, and that's all you want anyway. It's not like
Yeah.
you're not trying to totally get the infect through. You're just trying to proliferate the poison counters once they're there.
Yep, and then commander like with the viral drake, proliferate for 4, blue and 3 other. You're gonna there's so many ways to get so much mana in blue. Whether it's infinite mana, just all you have to do is hit one person with infect and proliferate on all of them and kill them all.
Oh yeah.
Um, is that a viable answer? Is that how it's going to be played? I'm not sure, but that's just one of those, you know, cards that I think is probably going to see a spike because I think Infect's going to be relevant
Oh yeah.
in the near
Yep. And then people want to forget it for the next 10 years,
future. Right? They hate
just like what happened with New Phyrexia.
it. Yeah. My last pick, I picked 2 Reaping the Graves. This is a Pauper Storm card. You return creatures from your graveyard to your hand. Each time that it triggers, you return another creature. I think Pauper cards are in a low price point at the current state. With the current market and the economic future, I think Pauper might even see a resurgence because people are going to be looking for, they're not going to stop want to play. They're going to look for maybe a cheaper way to play. So I think Pauper might take another resurgence and might be more popular. And a Storm card, people are going to build Storm. So I think this is just another maybe a far-reaching spec. Just based upon what the current environment is.
return the hand from the graveyard. That's like really like that strategy.
Yeah,
I like this pick.
I think in Pauper it's pretty strong. You know, they don't have many ways to deal with stuff that they with creatures or anything like that, and if they do, they're expensive. So
Yeah.
to be able to bring back your whole whatever they just got rid of, back to your hand, I think it'd be real powerful.
Oh yeah, making them deal with it once is great, but making them deal with it twice, it's so much better.
So that's my picks. Good luck with yours this month, Matt. I hope I come out on top, but that's the game we play. So let's go into uh, our top 6 favorite cards that were printed in 2022. No reprints, all originals that were first introduced to us in 2022. We're going to pick a creature, instant, sorcery, artifact, enchantment, and a planeswalker. So, Matt, what were your picks for 2022?
All right, I just like to have a reminder that these aren't necessarily like the most powerful cards or anything. They're just cards that me and Joe really like, or we're looking forward to trying out. Because I'm going to admit some of these I haven't actually got to play with yet. Some of them I played with on Arena. There's so many cards it's hard to keep up nowadays, but
Yeah.
these are cards that I'm really excited about. So for creature, I'm going with Sarah Paragon. Everything about this card is amazing. 2 and 2 white for a 3/4 flyer. Angel. Once during each of your turns, you may play a land from your graveyard or cast a permanent spell with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard. If you do, it gains when this permanent is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, exile it, and you gain 2 life. Just ignore that last part. Like, it really doesn't matter if they get rid of it and you have to exile it. The fact that you can recur something is just a redundancy effect on, like, your Sun Titan and stuff like that. And for less mana. And it's an angel, and which is always, going to be somewhat relevant. There's always going to be dedicated angel players like myself. But everything about this card is amazing. The artwork's amazing. There's so many fun ways to say the name. You could call her Saragon, Sarah Para. Just like, basically, this card is probably the best card of 2022. You heard it here first. Actually, you probably heard it everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going with for a creature. And then
Yeah.
you said instant next, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
do
back on your
instant.
creature though, I didn't even. I mean, once I saw that card, I was like 99% sure when we decided to do this that was going to be your favorite creature.
Oh man. Well, I know it's obvious. So like I wanted to go with like farewell for my sorcery, and it was like that's too obvious.
Yeah.
Everybody knows farewell is good, so I didn't go with that. Spoiler, but yeah, you know me that well. So here's another white card for my instant. 1 and a white, Calamity's Wake instant. It's a uncommon from Brothers War, so it's a pretty new card. Exile all graveyards. Players can't cast non-creature spells this turn. Exile Calamity's Wake. I had to pause when I read that because I was like, I'm like promoting graveyard strategies, and now I'm talking about exiling stuff. This hurts to read. Like this hurts me because I'm figuring out that I really like reanimation. So
So that pick might not be. I mean, on the paper, it looks like it's your favorite pick, but down the road, you're going to hate that card.
I wanted to use against you and your Luris $50 budget, commander deck. That's what I wanted for. I'll never run this in one of my decks because my graveyard is supposed to be like a second hand, or I want it to be anyway.
Yeah.
So that one hurts a little bit, but I think that's going to see EDH play. It might even be a staple down the road. Moving on to sorcery, I got Bushwhack, which I had already mentioned earlier. It's a sorcery uncommon from Brothers War for 1 green. Choose one, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. So you choose one of those modes. Early game, it's ramp. Late game, it's removal. The artwork is a giant tree bashing some sort of artifact thing. I mean, what's not to love about this? So I think this card's going to be great. For artifact, I cheated a little bit, so I have an artifact, but it's also a creature. But magic rules. It's both. So that's my artifact. It's 1 in the blue, the reality chip from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. This one you can play it as a creature, or you can reconfigure it for 2 in a blue. So its abilities read as follows: you may look at the top card of your library at any time, but if you reconfigure for the 2 in a blue, you equip it to a creature. It says, as long as the reality chip is attached to a creature, you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. And I really like Future Sight, like the card, and this is Future Sight, like the artifact. So
Harder to get away, harder to get rid of, I think, maybe, and cheaper. Like
you get it out earlier, like you said.
Yep.
So I really like this card. I just like the effect. It feels very blue, but it's always good to be able to look at the top card. I like to just instant speed look at the top card even when I can't do anything. Like it's just the land, but like you just keep looking at it and then start looking at different people. Like look at the card, look at different people. It's like hovering over a card in arena. You just want to keep them
yeah,
on edge.
yeah. Why am I looking at this card? You
Yep,
know?
look at that. And then I'm gonna like look at Michael's his commander that he cast for the fourth time. I'm just gonna be like, hmm, okay. Moving on to enchantment. Rabble Rousing, 4 and a white. This is a rare enchantment from New Capenna. Now I'm saying rarities. Wait, I did say rarities before.
Yep, I think you did.
All right, bear with me. Anyway, Rabble Rousing, 4 and a white, enchantment, has Hideaway 5. When this enchantment enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Whenever you attack with one or more creatures, create that many 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. Then, if you control 10 or more creatures, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So, like, not as good as Anointed Procession, obviously, but, like, it's still pretty good for token strategies. It costs 5 mana, so there's that. But
Yeah. And the hideaway,
could be relevant.
yeah, it's a fun little mechanic, the ramp up into something maybe if you complete these certain scenarios or whatever. But yeah, I've, I've seen a lot of people's interest in that card too.
Oh yeah, I wanted this list to all just be New Capenna, but I couldn't do it. New Capenna is such a great set. Just a few less cat people, and this would have been one of the best sets ever. It kind of already is one of the best sets ever.
You're not a cat person.
Well, I mean,
Maybe not on your
I
magic
just the
cards.
cat people freaked me out on the cards a little bit, but as a set though, aesthetically, other than that, like having the mobs and stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool. My last card, last category, Planeswalker. I went with Obnixilis, the adversary. I could not bring myself to talk about the Wandering Emperor. I just
You
can't.
just talked about it.
I don't want to talk about it. I've been got on arena so many times by that control player who left up suspiciously 4 mana and 2 of them are white. I'm just like, I know what's happening here. I know what's happening.
Do I attack?
Yep. Yeah, it's just. I need to start running Pithing Needle and just say Wandering Emperor.
Yeah.
And then they sit there with their 4 mana and like, what are you gonna do now?
Yeah. Concede.
So I got Obnixilis the Adversary, 1, a black and a red, legendary planeswalker, has casualty X. The copy isn't legendary and has starting loyalty X. As you cast a spell, you may sack a creature with power X. When you do copy the spell, the copy becomes a token. So you end up with 2 of these, loyalty equal to the power of what you sacrificed. The +1 is each opponent loses 2 life unless they discard a card. If you control a demon or devil, you gain 2 life. -2. Create a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. -7. Target player draws 7 cards and loses 7 life. I just think it's cool that it can duplicate, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and it fit New Capenna perfectly. I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Obnixilis with the demons and stuff like that. It was a great card for the set, and the mechanics on it. Duplicating is insane. When they cast it and they duplicate, you're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
so
So I wish they had called him Mob Nixilis instead of us having to like
yeah,
make jokes about it. Like they should have actually made that the official title of the card.
that would have been awesome.
Mob
Or at least put it
Nixilis.
under Mob Nixilis and then underneath a normal name if they want. Maintain it was Obnix or something like they've been doing with some of these other cards they've been reprinting with different names.
Oh yeah. I
But
almost went Tezzeret, Betrayer of Flesh, but I haven't got to really test that card yet. I want to run it in Urza if I ever get that together. So I went with this. And I guess that's it for me. I'm looking forward to seeing your picks, Joe.
so my creature I went with White Plume Adventurer. Um, you might find a theme in here that most of my cards are from Baldur's Gate. I love the set. But White Plume Adventurer, when White Plume Adventurer ETBs enters the battlefield, I would take the initiative, and at beginning of each opponent's turn, I get to untap a creature. But if I completed a dungeon, I get to untap all my creatures. Um, when I saw this card, I instantly said, "Oh, that goes in Barago. I'm gonna just flicker him. I'm gonna take the initiative, take the initiative, take the initiative,
Brago.
and eventually I'm gonna complete the dungeon. I get to untap all my stuff during each opponent's turn. Um, play. You know, it just fits really well in one of my decks. So, yeah, creature wise, this was my favorite one that I saw this year.
White's been pushed lately.
Oh, very
Like
pushed.
and Brago, like you just need to make Brago meaner. You need like all initiative stuff and
Not
Yorion and all that stuff.
not go to my dungeon mechanic, which is slow but fun. That's where my Barago is right now. I nerfed it a little bit, and went with it.
Venture into the dungeon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, not the initiative, but the old from Adventures in Forgotten
Yeah,
Realms.
if you just take those out and put in initiative cards.
Yeah, that would be. It would make it a much more potent deck because the initiative is much more powerful dungeons.
I just wish when you took the initiative, you had the option to go into one of the other three dungeons from before.
Yeah,
Like
instead of
I
just
think
that same one.
yeah, that
Yeah,
probably would have led to tougher design decisions for them to do that though.
but they did make it so that if you start the other one and then you get the initiative, you venture into the dungeon, so you can move along through them, but you can't get into the
Can't get into
Baldur's
them.
Gate one unless you gain the initiative.
Gotcha.
My instant was Shore Up. You know,
Oh
I was
boy,
I was contemplating between Shore Up and what's the other one where they phase out? I'm drawing a blank on it, but there's one that's one blue and you phase out and they
slip
put a
out the back.
slip out the back.
Is it one blue or two?
I think it's
One of the
one.
blue.
I thought it was just one blue.
I think it is one blue. Never mind. I'm on your side.
Yeah, but Shore Up is definitely one blue, and it um, gives your creature +1/+1 till end of turn, and gets a hexproof, and then you get to untap that creature. Um, I just feel like this one's a little more down my style as to as opposed to the phasing out. So I went
It's
with the Shore Up instead.
it's pretty much always as good as phasing out. Like there's rarely a time when that isn't going to be enough to save your creature, at least in 1v1 standard that I've
Yeah,
seen.
the worst is the only where I'd prefer to have the slip out the back would be if they board wipe. I can't protect my guy from a board wipe, but I can start. So that's why in blue I'm thinking, well, I'm going to run a counter. If there's a board wipe coming, I'm going to counter that board wipe hopefully instead.
I wonder if it would be better if it didn't untap the creature, but it gave it indestructible instead.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I mean, green has it with the Tameo safekeeping, and then we just got a version of that in white. So
Yeah, maybe blue is next. I'd be okay with
blue has everything already. I mean, not as bad as green, but like blue's getting there.
that. So that was my instant. My sorcery is over the top. It's a red sorcery. Each player reveals a number of cards from the top of their library equal to the number of permanents, non-land permanents they control. Cards revealed this way are put onto the battlefield. The rest into the graveyard.
Wow.
Um, it just seems like it's gonna a chaos infused. I creating treasures, and then I'm gonna dump this and put in, look at the top 30 cards in my library and put 15 to 20 of them into play. You're gonna put five. I don't care. I just think it's a crazy busted card. I've been wanting to play. I just haven't. I haven't put it into one of my treasure decks, but
Which set is that from?
it's from
Brothers
Brothers
War.
War. It's a new
7
card.
mana. That's that. I mean, that is a 7 mana effect.
Yeah, well, it's gonna. Hopefully, you're set up that that's gonna win you the game. So, I don't know. I just when I was looking through and I was like, "Holy God, I've never seen this card. I like this card a lot." It's just chaos infused,
All right, so like before I cast this, I want to cast Brass's Bounty.
right?
Have a bunch of tokens in play. Have like even more treasure tokens plus the Brass's Bounty I just cast,
Yep.
and then yeah,
And then just look at the top 40 cards of your library and put 20 into play permanents,
this
non-land
seems
permanents. I
like
think
a
they are
red
right.
player's dream right here.
Yeah. So that's my sorcery. Is it the best card? No, but it sure the hell looks like fun.
I kind of want to see you try that. Like I want to see that.
My artifact was two-handed axe. It's an uncommon from Baldur's Gate. Um, it's an adventure card, so it's kind of like Cheat My Magic a little bit. So it's an adventure, but it's an artifact too. The spell side of the adventure card is target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn, and then it's an equipment that you can cast, and it get doubles the creature's power
Oh,
attacks.
there's so many that do that. I wouldn't be able to do this one.
Yeah, but I know I just played it in a draft from Street of New Capenna. But that was the artifact I went with. I like the surprise fact of double strike and um, doubling the power on a creature afterward.
This card gives me PTSD because I've seen a certain somebody run this with Karlach.
Oh yeah,
Karlach. I don't know how you pronounce that, but he yeah, I've been ran over by this card.
and it's each triggered. So if he attacks twice, he's going to get that doubling effect twice. So
Yeah.
it can get crazy, but I mainly liked it for the double strike, the hidden double strike feature of it, and then it still comes in as an artifact that you can equip to a creature and get even another bonus to it. So
Yep.
um, that was my artifact. My enchantment was Font of Magic. That's from, you know it, Baldur's Gate. Uh, instant sorcery spells you cast cost one less to cast for each time you've cast a commander from your command zone this game. Only costs four. I'm thinking, a blue red with the cobalt there, with partnering up with a blue guy. Cast him, let him die. Cast him, let him die. All my instant sorcery spell slinger deck is going to be, everything's going to be two, three less from Baldur's Gate. So
I want to try this in myself, Mill. I don't think
oh,
I
I
would
think that would
try
work
it.
great in that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd try it in a commander that costs more than three, but a three cost that people tend to remove
Yeah,
like that.
because you're a commander, and that gets removed a lot. So.
It does. People are learning though; they're figuring out that sometimes I exile stuff I need, and like Taco the other day, he was like, "Oh, I should have left it because I could draw the cards. I drew what I needed in my hand, and I held it until the right time." I was like, "You let me draw this card, man." Because I'm talking about a Ruth.
All right, so my last pick was for the Planeswalker. I picked Mince and Boo.
More PTSD.
Yeah. Yeah, when this card came out, I thought it was really good, and then Davin and his daughter um, built a deck around it, and my hunch was proven true as that deck just is crazy good with Minsk and Boo. Minsk and Boo, you each upkeep you drop a 1/1 Boo into play if you don't have one, and then you can plus Minsk to put three counters on it and attack, and then you can minus Minsk and Boo to fling it and draw cards equal to the damage done. It's just a crazy card. Crazy fun and red and green, real easy to play. Just beef up Boo. You know,
Yep. Yep.
so that was my favorite Planeswalker from 2022. Was
I think that
Minsk and
might
Boo.
be one of the strongest planeswalkers we've seen in a long time. Definitely strongest in Commander. Like
Yeah,
I've been ran
it's
over more than once.
it's crazy, crazy good, crazy quick, and gets out of hand real quick. And then he's like, "Oh, I'll kill Boo," and then next thing you know, oh, I got another Boo, and it's bigger again, and it's bigger again. It's just like a relentless assault. So,
It's yeah, it's cool to see kids learning to play Magic, and like I'm pretty good at telling when people are gonna attack me, and like be sitting down with Luna, and she'd be really quiet, wouldn't even really be looking at anybody. She'd be looking at her cards, and then just like turn Boo sideways, and she'd just be like, "It's coming at you." It's
Heck,
like,
man.
no, no, no. Who put you up to this?
Yeah. Well, that was my picks. That was Matt's picks. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know what your favorite cards from 2022 were. Leave a comment. Leave a comment for the pack that we're about to open from. Um,
Yeah, yeah. For last month's specs.
yep.
Yep.
So thanks for watching. Video will be here at the end, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good holiday.
Matt's pack.
It's gonna be total value, but like not top value, like Pagano or something. Like what
There's a bonsai. Sigh of relief for Matt. Trader's gonna pull a bonsai.
Yeah, there's a certain card that I will never pull from this set, and I don't want to pull from this set. Like, Wasager is an overrated card. Don't play it. It's overrated. Like, there's other effects.